What is going on, guys? Nathan Lombardo here with Lambo Media, brought to you by the Right Way Sports Network. And in this video, I will be talking about the new 2020 MLB 60-game format. And after that, I will be giving you guys my quick thoughts on the new 2020 MLB 60-game format. So, but before we jump into my personal thoughts on this format, let me give you guys a quick overview on what this 60-game format looks like for this 2020 Major League Baseball season. Like I mentioned, it's 60 regular season games beginning July 23rd and July 24th. Training beginning last week, Wednesday, July 1st. Players and coaches will be tested every other day during spring training 2.0 or training per se, and regular season and postseason as well. So the MLB is definitely taking safety precautions to have a continuous season and keep all of the staff players and coaches as healthy as possible for as long as possible as well. The 60 regular season games include 10 games against each of its 4 divisional opponents. Not only that, but 20 games against the opposite league's geographical division. For example, the AL East versus the NL East, and so on. There are also numerous new rules that the MLB hasn't experienced in the past, one being a universal DH this season. What that means is not only will the AL have the capability to use a DH in this 2020 MLB season, but the NL will also have the capability of using a DH for their pitchers during this 2020 Major League Baseball season. So I definitely like that, and we'll get into all of these things a little bit later, and I will give you guys my quick thoughts on these initial thoughts before the MLB and the MLB Players Association came to agreements for this format. There were definitely times, even right before this format came out, and when it came official, there were times that I doubted that we were going to see an MLB season during 2020, just because of the controversies between the MLB and the MLB Players Association about how many games will be played, what the salary will look like for each player, because that was the main two things that they couldn't come to agreements about, because, the players wanted more money, and the MLB Players Association wanted to get more out of it as much as possible. So I'm definitely glad that we're going to be able to see something during this 2020 season, because that's what this world needs at this time. These are some disastrous times with everything going on, COVID, and all of the other stuff that's going on right now with these disastrous situations. So I think, like a lot of the fans and the media and even the players and coaches and staff, everyone's just glad to see some baseball, play some baseball for the players. So let's talk a little bit about the universal DH. I mentioned this in the Walk It Off podcast with my good buddy Christian Bergman. We just dropped the podcast. Check that out, the Walk It Off podcast on Instagram and YouTube. So if you haven't checked that out, make sure you guys go check it out. But we talked a little bit about the universal DH and how I personally believe that it's the best thing for the MLB, and I think it shouldn't just be a thing this season, and it should carry on in the seasons to follow, because I think if something goes on in the AL, it should happen in the NL, and the opposite way as well. If something goes on in the NL, it should happen in the AL as well. We need to keep these pitchers as healthy as possible, because there's definitely more hitters than pitchers, so we need to have the capability to save arms and health for these pitchers. So those are my initial thoughts on the 60-game format for the MLB, and that's the overview on the 60-game format. So if you liked this video, make sure you guys drop a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed it already. Like I mentioned a bit earlier, go check out my new podcast with MLB alumni Christian Bergman. It's the Walk It Off podcast. And thank you guys for tuning in, and make sure you guys tune in for more videos like these.